friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a reading vlog, the first one of 2026, probably, fingers crossed. Technically Winterween started yesterday. If you don't know what Winterween is, I will link Gabby from Gabby Reads. Gabby from Gabby Reads down below. She puts on Winterween, Springween, Summerween, and then like Halloween. There's usually a readathon, but it's just like bringing Halloween to every season. I'm gonna be doing a lot of food prep today. I'm gonna try to make my first ever. I'm gonna try to bake my first ever sourdough bread loaf. Like, I have my sourdough starter that I've been working on for a week now, and I feed it and everything, and I'm super excited to try that. That's for the Goober Readathon. I'll link that channel down below too. But basically you get a baking prompt, or like, you don't get a prompt. You get, this month it's sourdough or banana bread. I am challenging myself to make the food that goes with it each month. And of course I'm ambitious, so I'm going to start with sourdough instead of banana bread. But we're going to see, cross our fingers that it comes out. So I'm going to make sourdough at some point today. Listen to Ghost Radio. So the theme for Winterween is bloodbath. And I really want to get to In the Valley of the Sun. It has a like bunch of blood coming off of the cover. So I think that would work great for bloodbath. But first we're going to start with Ghost Radio because I have the audiobook for that. Reading sprints. Ghost Radio. I've been food prepping a lot today. But while I've been food prepping, I've been listening to Ghost Radio by Leopoldo Gout. It's fine. it's just a bit dry, a bit slow. I am 100 pages in to this novel, and you follow, I don't even remember his name, Joe Quinn, as he's the host of this night radio show, and people call in and tell him like interesting, like scary stories. Some of them are ghost stories, some of them appear to be vampires, some of them are just unexplained, and they're fine. There's some spooky stuff that has happened to some of the callers, but it seems too much like a short story collection. It's not a short story collection because you're following Jocelyn. I don't remember his name. That's not his name. You follow this character as he's on the radio show, and you follow him after he goes home and different things. I am somewhat intrigued by his story. I want to know what happened to his best friend, and that is the only thing that's keeping me going on this book, but I'm really not loving it. And I've been doing a wonderful job of DNFing books, so I might have considered DNFing this, but I think this was on my 5-star predictions list, and so far I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not liking it. Not liking it at all. Good morning. So last night I felt really sick. I don't know what came over me. Between the times that I was getting sick and feeling sick and tossing and turning and things, I ended up finishing Ghost Radio with my eyes. I do have to say that this is more of an eyeball read than it is an audiobook, because I was trying to rush through it. I was trying to finish it via audiobook, and I just really wanted to DNF it. With that being said, I still didn't like this book for all the reasons that I've stated already. There were 3 different perspectives that you follow from, and it was really hard to know whose perspective you were in until like right before it changed. And I just thought this book was very confusing, and I didn't particularly like this one. So I'm gonna be unhauling it. I'm stuck if I want to give it a 1 or a 2 star. I definitely liked physically reading it more, and the physical read has like these really cool pictures. I guess I'll give it 2 stars, but no thank you. Then I was going to grab In the Valley of the Sun by Andy Davidson. I don't have an audiobook for that one, but I do really want to read it, and it's on my TBR for the month. So I was going to read that, but then because I couldn't sleep last night after I finished Ghost Radio, I decided that I would try an audiobook that I recently got from the library, and I started Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. I didn't get very far. I literally just finished the prologue last night, and then I finally was able to go to sleep for a couple of hours, and the prologue had me shaking. I had goosebumps as I was reading it. And I'm like, that's what I want from a horror story. This is terrifying already. I thought I would film me trying these 2 holiday dogs. I know it's not the holidays anymore, but My husband is a huge like eggnog person. He loves getting eggnog around the holidays. And I cannot drink eggnog. So I have tried different versions like of milk alternative eggnogs in the past, but I've never liked them. So my hubby and I found Planet Oak, so oat nog and holiday nog with almond milk. So I thought I would try it here. Okay, so this is almond milk. Interesting. I'm only gonna put a little bit in there. Okay, so I just put almond milk. So this one is oat milk. Let's see. Oh my gosh, they even look different. So you can't see it, but this oat milk is white and the almond milk one is like darker. It's not exactly brown, but I can't show you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna spill it. So let's try the oat milk. Cheers. Oh my God. Is this what I've been missing? I think, to be fair, I've only tried holiday nog before once, and it was soy, and it was not my favorite. That is so good. Oh my God, I really like the oat milk one. The Planet Oak oat nog. And then this one is, this is a really good brand. It's the Cabana brand, I think. But it's holiday nog with almond milk. Let's cheers. So I found on Instagram that Gabby from Gabby Reads, who is the creator of Summerween and Winterween, and this is Winterween. I somehow missed the Instagram prompts for this readathon. So it is day 3, and I'm going to be doing day 2's prompt, which was to show off your red spines. Got like an hour left of my audiobook Stolen Tongues, and I'm actually in reading sprints. Oh my gosh. And then even bigger news, it's the 3rd reading sprints of the year, and it's only the 12th, the 11th. It's only the 11th. Who is she? So my stretch goal was to hit 3 reading sprints, so I've already checked that off, and it's not even halfway through the month. I'm doing fantastic. Drop, and I know the prompt on my spinner wheel said horror movie. This is more of a drama, like a high stakes thriller, but I'm gonna count it for a horror movie because it's terrifying. Like, she starts getting these messages from someone that she doesn't know, and he's like, oh, guess what, I'm in your house, I've kidnapped your son. or like I'm holding him hostage until you murder this guy that you're on a date with, and it's like the first date. So it seems very intense, but I'm excited for it. We're also having, you know, like fun little movie night. Got my popcorn. Before we start the movie though, hold on, there we go. Before we start the movie, I did want to tell you that I finished Stolen Tongues, and I like how the Stolen Tongues part came back around towards the end. Here's the thing, I loved that first prologue chapter. I was hooked, like sunk my teeth into it, hooked, and just loved it. But then it kind of just went bleh. I did ultimately give it 3 stars, and like it was good. It was just far too long, and the writing style was very just mid, in my opinion. And I'm sorry if that's one of your favorite books. I'm so happy for you. He also like said in the author's note that he was trying not to like depict Native people in a specific way, but I kind of feel like he unintentionally did, and I didn't really love that. So I don't know, it was fine. I wish the whole book, like it started way up here at the ceiling. Like I can't reach the ceiling, but if I could, you know, it started way up there, and then it kind of just slowly started going, and I cared less and less about it. But I did read it in one day, so that's like a gold star for me. Bread out and let it cook without the top for about 15 minutes. Let's see if I did it. So, did not work out. It did not rise, it looks like. Growth. That's what I'm going for this year, and I feel very good about that because the sourdough didn't work out. I'm not sure what step I messed up on, but having a sourdough starter, like creating a sourdough starter from scratch, is real hard. And I tried. Some would say, like old Alita would say that I failed. But growth mindset, growth. All 2026 is all about growth. So I didn't quite get the sourdough right. I don't know if I'm ever going to try it again, because honestly it was a pain and clearly it didn't come out. But old Alita would have been very mad at herself and just like, well, you can't do anything wrong, you just fail at everything. I'm not looking at this as a failure. I'm looking at this as a learning experience. And you know what? It's okay. So, am I a little bummed that my sourdough didn't rise? For sure. But it's not the end of the world. Technically, I started Warm Bodies earlier and I read about 50 pages of it, but I'm not liking it. It's like zombies, which is fine, but it's gory, and I know that a lot of zombie books are gory, but that's not the kind of zombie book that I'm looking for. So for right now, I'm putting it down. I'm not saying that I'm DNFing it for sure. It'll probably be on my pile of shame for months until either I get around to reading it or I just finally stop kidding myself and just say I'm never gonna finish it and unhaul it. But don't worry, that's like future Alita's problem, not us right now. So since I'm thinking I'm gonna DNF that, or at least put it down for now, I'm gonna start Where He Can't Find You by Darcy Coates. This is a serial killer horror novel, but I hear that it leans more thriller than horror, which might work for me. I'm very picky about the Darcy Coates books that I end up liking, but I am excited. There's a detective perspective in here. I think you follow from 5 different perspectives, and one of them is a detective, and that scares me because I can watch detectives on TV or even in movies, but when I read from a detective POV, I feel like I get bored very easily. I think that I like it on TV because like the actors and actresses can bring a certain kind of spunk or a certain kind of funk to their characters. So like you're not just solving a case, you're also getting to know the characters. But in book form, a lot of times it's all about the case and there's no personality for detectives, and that's where the disconnect is for me when I read detective novels. So if you have any recommendations for detective novels or crime novels that have a detective in it and they actually have some like spunk, they have some personality, leave them in the comments below because I would love that. So I'm going a little bit out of my comfort zone here, and she's thick. So I do think that this will likely be my last book for this reading vlog. It is only Monday night, and this readathon goes until Thursday. So I could sneak one more book in there. Probably not though, because I don't actually read that much during the work week. I get most of my reading done on the weekends, especially like during food prep. Then I can listen to a whole audiobook on a Saturday or a Sunday when I'm doing food prep, because I literally spend hours in the kitchen just prepping for the week ahead. But that is where we are right now. If you've read this, let me know what you thought of it. I'm very excited for this one. It follows a serial killer and there's a detective POV. I'm not sure who the other 3 characters are, but I'm excited to dive right in. Guys, I haven't updated this vlog in a couple days actually. It's been the end of Winterween for 2 days now, and I finally finished this book by Darcy Coates and strongly disliked it. Well, I was thinking 1 or 2 stars, but I'm thinking 1 star. Like that, like the fact that this town, nobody cared about the Stitcher except for the teenagers who ended up investigating the Stitcher, and also like the payout of the Stitcher. I really wanted a serial killer, like, horror novel. There was no horror novel in this, and it was definitely a thriller. Trying to be a thriller. And it was awful. It was a monster, not a serial killer, so it was bad. I didn't like it. I was bored. That's it. Yeah, and I'm conflicted because, oh, it matches my sweater. No, I'm conflicted because I went into this thinking that it was gonna be something like Forever Interrupted, or After I Do, where you follow this couple that breaks up but gets back together. And I mean, I guess that's kind of true, but it's more like One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, because there are 2 love interests. I didn't realize that there were 2 love interests, but like if you look at the cover, then you see 2 men and her. So I guess I don't understand. I should have realized that, but I never, like, this is so clearly written that not both love interests actually have a fighting chance. You are already in this book when Layla is lying to Ian, her long-term boyfriend who dumped her. And okay, I'm gonna spoil some things, so if you're interested in reading this, then and you don't want to be spoiled, then this is your chance to mute me until this book is put down. But I could tell from the beginning that they weren't good for each other. They were like good people on their own, but they weren't a very good match. Even though Layla was trying to force something with Ian because he dumped her, and then he was in an accident a couple weeks later and he conveniently forgot that they broke up. But the thing is that he remembered a long time ago that they're not together, but he still kept playing the charade because he loves Layla, and it just felt very fake and very phony and disingenuous, and I just didn't care to read this. And this was written in such a way that you were rooting for Matt from the beginning, because he was like, he brought out the best in Layla, and Layla like wanted to be better for him. And it didn't have any messiness or any like, I just feel that love. It was just kind of like, I read it to read it, but I wasn't reading it to like feel the swooniness, to like love on this book. I was just reading it because I had started it and it was like really good writing, but the story itself was just like So I'm probably gonna give it like 2 or 3 stars, maybe 2.5 stars. I have two books that I'm in the middle of, and by in the middle of I mean like very much at the beginning of both books. There's Birdie by N. West Moss and The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead. Honestly, both of these are super outside my comfort zone. I don't read middle grade. This is very much a middle grade book that involves foster care, and that's why I got it. Well, I got it because it was sent to me, but it's about foster care. There's things about foster care. After Birdie and Mouse, their mom dies, and they end up going into foster care. This comes out in February, so I should read this one. But The Future Saints is my new Book of the Month book, and I'm trying really hard to read my Book of the Month books as I get them. I was gifted 12 credits for Christmas going into 2026, and I do really like Ashley Winstead. This is not typically my like literary famous people like think Taylor Jenkins Reid like Atmosphere, or I think this one's more like Daisy Jones and the Six, which I've never read because it's not my jam usually. So I have these, or if I pick a Kindle book, I have Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose. So I'm in the middle of all three. I think I might read one chapter of each one and decide which one I want to continue for today. I read 2 more chapters of The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead, which still puts me very, very early on in the book. I read 2 more chapters of Birdie by N. West Moss, and I read on my Kindle 2 more chapters of Dating After the End of the World by Geneva Rose. That one was great. That one is like this zombie apocalypse, and you follow from a doctor's perspective who is like firsthand seeing the plague, the pandemic, the zombie plague. I don't know. That was wonderful. I'm hooked. I want to finish that one. This one's a really quick read. Birdie is a really quick read, but I'm not like emotionally attached. I'm not loving it. But here's the thing. I am absolutely like in love with The Future Saints. Oh, this has me in a chokehold early on. There's already so much about grief, and I did not think that I would be like the type of person that would like a musical famous story. Like, you follow this band, The Future Saints, as they're kind of like plummeting, and their label wants to drop them, but Hannah, the lead singer, wants to quit anyway because their manager died like 10 months ago. So then you get Theo's perspective. He's their new manager, but they don't know it yet. And seeing their interaction was just like, oh my gosh, they automatically just hate each other. And Hannah quit. Hannah just like, she's like, well, the label doesn't have to worry about anything. I quit. And then she walked out. And now we're going back 2 years ago. And it looks like it's like interview format, at least for a little bit. So I feel like this is kind of going to be a dual timeline, I'm assuming. But I am loving this. It's a little bit slower. Like, to read, I can read Birdie faster. I feel like if I just sat down and focused on Birdie, I could finish this today during this 24-hour readathon. But my heart wants The Future Saints, even though it's a slower read. I don't know if that makes sense, but the writing in here is a lot slower and more tough to get through. I'm only a few chapters in, though. But now that it's like interview format, I don't know how long the interview format is going to stay, but I feel like interview format will make this book go by quickly. So I think my goal is going to be to get through The Future Saints. Now, this is a 24-hour readathon, so if I don't finish it in 24 hours, that's okay. I'm still going to finish it after, but I'm going to try my goal. Since we technically finished 2 other books during this 24 hours, even if I didn't start them in this 24 hours, I'm still counting those 2 books. This will be my 3rd book for the 24-hour readathon, and I've read most of it. If I finish it in this 24 hours, then I've read almost all of it in this 24-hour period. I feel like I'm just rambling though, so I will update you when I get further into The Future Saints. Okay, so it's been a couple of hours, and I'm only 40 pages into this book. Like I said, it's a very slow, daunting read because there's so much going on. Also, my husband kind of started rearranging all the furniture, so I had to take a break, and then I made dinner and ate dinner and didn't read while I was eating, kind of thing. But I sat down to read some more. I read one chapter and oh my gosh, I don't know, I'm only 40 pages in, so is it a spoiler? Oh my gosh. I guess if you don't want any spoilers, then just wait until this book is down like this. But while it's up, Layla. No, not Layla. Layla is a different book. Hannah. Okay. Hannah has been talking to her bandmates, but she's also been talking to Jenny. And I could not for the life of me figure out who Jenny was. But now it makes sense because Jenny was her sister. Jenny is the manager that died 10 months ago. Jenny is Hannah's sister. What? My mind is blown. I really do want to try and read this tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish it, but I'm enjoying this book so much. It might be my favorite book of the year so far. I mean, it's only 16 days into the year, right? Let's see. 17 days. It's only 17 days into the year. But I'm living for the vibes. If you want a book all about vibes, read this. It is making me wonder. It is making me think that I might have to try Daisy Jones and the Six by TJR because I've heard them compared to each other. And obviously the OG is Daisy Jones and the Six. But if I like this, if I like the Future Saints, am I going to like Atmosphere or Daisy Jones or any of those books by TJR? Did I just open up a whole new can of worms for myself to enjoy? What is going on? Wait. Hold the front door. Okay, I'm just gonna give you my live reaction. So if I spoil things, I'm sorry. If you don't want to be spoiled for the Future Saints, don't watch us. Or just mute me. I don't know. It doesn't work. Theo, the new manager, doesn't know that Jenny, the old manager that died, was actually Hannah's sister. I have been up for 23 hours doing my readathon. I'm tired. I'm going to sleep. But I made it to 100 pages into The Future Saints by Ashley Winstead. I'm enjoying this. It's very slow and there's really no plot. Not a lot of plot. It's just about the characters and about musicians and famous people, but specifically musicians. So I'm very much enjoying it. I really, really love Hannah. She's diabolical. And I'm really liking the talk about grief and things. I also watched A Star is Born tonight. It has Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper in it. In this 24-hour readathon, I read 12 pages. Wait, let's see. I read 7 pages of Birdie. And I finished this Darcy Coates book. I had about 100 pages of that left. And I finished For Twice in My Life by Annette Christie. For this one, I finished, let's see, 223, how many pages are there altogether? I finished 73 pages of For Twice in My Life by Annette Christie. So I did not get a whole ton of reading done, but I do feel very accomplished. I'm actually going to be working on finishing Future Saints this weekend, but so far I'm loving it. I think it's gonna be my next 5-star read. Don't forget, I'm sorry, I'm really tired, so smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I'll see you in the next video.